Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You must have heard about the term called ESG, environmental, social, and governance. What does this mean? It means some metrics, some measures through which we have a bit of assurance that the environment, the well-being of the environment has been taken care of, the well-being of the society has been taken care of, and there is some level of good governance that ensures the rights of the stakeholders are taken well care of. Now, does it have any relations or any parallel with Islamic finance? In Islamic finance, what actually we mean? What actually we try to do? What actually Sharia wants us to do? When it comes to fiqh mu'amalat al-maliyah, Islamic financial jurisprudence, one single objective that we try to achieve is to ensure adl, 𝐈𝐬𝐥𝐚𝐦𝐢 or ADL, which means to ensure justice, fairness, equity of different parties and stakeholders. And as you know, our company name is also Adl Advisory. By the way, the point I was trying to make is adl is the core objective of all Islamic financial transactions. When we try to achieve adl or fairness and justice, as I mentioned, for the society, what it means, the product or the entity that is practicing Islamic finance should prioritize or make decisions that are not harmful to the society, rather that are good, that bring betterment for the society. When it comes to governance, we ensure that the best governance is there in the Islamic financial institution or the Islamic finance product. Not only the board of directors, but there should be an independent body overseeing the Sharia compliance aspect of it, which is known as Sharia committee or Sharia board. And there must be additional organs as well to ensure that overall the risks are managed well, there is a proper Sharia audit, this and that. So in Islamic finance, basically, when it comes to governance, we have additional layer of organs of governance. The last part, which is environment. Often it is thought that Islamic finance didn't thought of it. But if you look at the ahadith, the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam 14 centuries back, if you look at the sayings of the caliphs, the Khulafa Rashidun, Sayyiduna Abu Bakr, Sayyiduna Umar, Sayyiduna Uthman, Sayyiduna Ali Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, you will find plentiful of discussions, mentions that we should take care of the environment. For example, there is hadith that one should not be discharging the urine in a water that is stagnant. Why? Because it affects the purity of the water, right? One should not cause harm to other, and one should not reciprocate to the harms as well. La darar wa la dirar. This is a hadith, and it's a very famous legal maxim as well, which we try to adhere to when it comes to the products in Islamic finance. The trees, should it be burnt or not? Even during the situation of war, the caliphs or the chief army, they would instruct the armies that do not burn the trees, do not burn the lands, this and that. If we try to make an analogy of all this, and there are many other hadiths, I don't want to mention all of these in this video, but if you try to make sense of what the message is given here, the message is the environment should not be polluted, because that causes harm to everyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Qur'an as well, He mentioned, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى تَهْلُكَ. Don't put yourself in a state of destruction, right? So we shouldn't do something that puts us in a status of destruction, or rather destroys the harmony that we have within the environment. Now let's put together. I talked about good governance that Islamic finance promotes, that Islamic finance mandates through additional layer of Sharia governance. I talked about the well-being of the society that Islamic finance wants to promote, and that is very evident from a lot of hadiths. For example, one single example, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, "Al-Muslim man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi." The true Muslim is the one from whose hand and mouth the other Muslim is safe, meaning that he's not afflicted or affected by the tongue, by the voice, or by the verbal things of another Muslim, or even maybe harmed in a physical manner. And there are many other hadiths like this. So if we take all these hadiths together, we get the sense of taking care of the society. And when we talk about the environment, I already mentioned that Islam takes care of the environment. So the ESG that is known today, Islamic finance has well considered all about these 14 centuries back. In fact, Islam has considered much more elements from beyond this ESG. And we are glad that today we hear a lot of discussions today, alhamdulillah, across the globe, in Malaysia as well as other countries, about Maqasid Sharia. Maqasid Sharia is all about the objectives of Sharia, to ensure that we implement the objectives of Sharia through the financing decisions that we make, through the priorities that we make. Alhamdulillah, we have seen that last year, if I'm not mistaken, that Securities Commission Malaysia has issued a Maqasid Sharia framework. It's a wonderful thing, amazing thing. How can you get the principles and the framework to implement Maqasid Sharia? If we look at the recent IUFI government standard on Sharia decision making process, SDM, there also they mentioned how the Maqasid Sharia should be taken care of when we take Sharia decisions, be it by the Sharia board, be it by the management or the board of governance, board of directors and others. So in a nutshell, Islamic finance 14 centuries back have well considered about all these elements, and today it's far more vocal. We see a lot of discussions, things are being taken care of, standards are there. Now what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is to take actions accordingly. At Adl Advisory, alhamdulillah, we are well capable, and we have been advising entities and people about how you integrate the values of both Islamic finance as well as sustainability, Islamic finance and ESG, Islamic finance and ethical finance. We believe with the good values, with the best of both worlds, we can achieve a world that is not only compliant through some principles, rather it's also bringing well-being to the society, to the entire humanity. Thank you very much for watching the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.